Who's the master? 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 I think it's Frogs Master 595. Yes, that's right. It's Frogs Master 595.
Hey everyone, this is Frogs Master 595, and today is a very big video. It's about Gemmy, and if they're improving or not. Well, I'm going to talk about what I think, and we're going to be going through a few of their years. Well, I guess more than a few. First, I'll start with, before 2013. There's not really much to say. It's good, and everyone thinks it's good. 2012, there may have been a very, very few things, but still in 2012, they had some of those hip-hop related things that people really liked. And it's 2011, 2010. The more you go back, the better it just is. Best years probably being some would say 2000 to 2004 because of all the pop culture stuff and the other licensed Gemmy items with licensed characters. And then, 2007, 2008, those years, there'd be a lot of collectors choosing those years too. And 2005, 2006 because of the frogs. But I'd say most would probably say the best 2005, 2008, or 10, around those years. Now, I don't really need to talk about that part. Let's just talk about 2013 real quick. Oh, and then all the other years after it, of course. 2013 is when I would say when the change started to really occur. You probably couldn't really see much of a change in 2012. They had some different stuff, but it was kind of the same type of songs that they'd use in 2008 and 9. Maybe even 7 still. They had the Sock Monkeys that they started doing. Although that was in 2010 or 11 when they started that. But in 2013, they still had those going. This was also before a certain series started that's very important to the Gemmy world. Very important to the community as well. For one really big reason. 2013 was just the start. And that start would be the bad stuff. Now, in there, it would just really be because of the bad song that they used, or just something with it being cheap, or just generic, I guess, but more just because of the bad song choice. Now, 2014, it would just be worse from 2013, because this was the year that the twerking ones began. And these, I would say, have to be one of the worst that Gemmy's done, because they twerk and they're animals and they're twerking the hip hop, which makes it even weirder. It's not even a song that would fit for twerking most of the time anyway, but even still, if it did, it's still weird just because of it being an animal, and some of them are boy dogs, the girl bear. It's very interesting. It's very different. Also, around 2014, I think they started with those dropping ones, the egg dropping, and I don't think the reindeer one had started yet, but people don't really like those either, and I would agree. Those actually could be still one of the worst, just because it's really weird again. But 2014's main problem was the start of those twerkers, and there were quite a lot of them. There were 6 of them already. And they were selling really well, so they're not going to be gone. 2014, there were still some good things, but just way more bad. Just worse than 2013. 2013 still had bad stuff. Don't get me wrong. 2015 there was just a bunch of more twerkers. More of them made new ones, ooh-hoo. And just worse than 2014, which might sound crazy, but it is, trust me. Again, a few things in there that are good, but not that many. 2016, again, it's the same thing. Although, actually, in 2016, that is when more of those dropping ones came out. Like the Reindeer, I think, did, and then there's this thing that I hate where they made this Rudolph in this year. I think maybe it was earlier, but it's got this terrible voice in it that I hate so much. Now, their Halloween stuff that they had was still decent at this time, but it's about to change when you go into 2017 where, oh boy, this has got to be the worst of the years. There's no joke. This was the year right here. This was the one where everyone was just at the peak of their annoyance with Gemmy. You had the twerking stuff, but you also had the pineapple, apple pen, which that meme was dead a year ago. That was something that also started. Gemmy was doing meme-related things, but those memes were really dead. And I know about the whole thing that maybe it's still funny, but really the way Gemmy did it, it's not that funny. There's the selfie ones, too, which those did actually start in 2015, I think. They're not as bad. And I know there are some, I don't think there's too many, but there's some that like the selfie items. I think they're okay. You know, they're just in the middle. Twerkers is egg-dropping weird ones, and yeah, those are just worse. I think in 2017, that's when they did that twerking sock monkey. Maybe that was even 2018, but let me just say that 2013 through 2017 was the worst era for Gemmy. That was just the big downslip. From 2013, 2017, it just got worse every year, really. And it looked like that nothing was gonna help Gemmy. Seemed like it was it. The only good things from all those years were like a couple Christmas stuff, couple Halloween stuff, and those darling dancers, like all the dogs, the Dash Hunt dogs. I mean, those were probably their best thing. And they had the pouncing ones. I guess those were good. But they just made a bunch of those, so it started to get kind of, predictable with those always being around. Generic, I guess, too. And with the songs, that just got worse every year, too. I mean, 2017, songs they were using were just really getting to the big old modern and only modern. Not even the good modern, either. I don't think there's any Gemmy collectors that think there are no good modern songs, because, I don't know, that's kind of... there's got to be some modern songs that they like. I like a lot of modern songs, but the ones that Gemmy would usually use is just not ones I care about. But this video is called, Is Gemmy Improving? It's not called Bad Gemmy Stuff or The Worst Gemmy Years. No, this is called Is Gemmy Improving? That's what this is still mainly about, because I talked about the very bad. So what about 2018, 2019, and the year we're in right now, the new decade? Well, in 2018, I would say that there was a very slight change. 2018, when it started, Valentine's Day, there were a couple of things that seemed, well, not bad. I guess decent, maybe a good one in there too. As it would come further into the year around the birthday time, when they had all their birthday stuff really out, which is mainly in like the summer when they have it out like the most. They still have it out all year, I think, but I feel like that's probably when they got the most of it. All their birthday stuff right now is really good, to be honest. There's not really anything bad there. There's no twerking birthday animatronics, I'm pretty sure. I think it's all good. I have quite a few of the birthday things that Gemmy's made. A couple from Dandy, too, but The Gemmy are the better ones. So, that's all good. Really, there's not really anything wrong there. So that's good for 2018 with Gemmy. But going into, I guess Halloween would be next. I guess there was Easter in 2018, but there's not really too much from there. I mean, I'm sure there was a couple. I don't really remember too much, to be honest, with that. But Halloween 2018, there were some good things in there. There were 2 items specific that were really good. There was a Grim Reaper that came out. It's saying, Who Can It Be Now, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember who did that song, but it's an old song. It had a saxophone, and it looked interesting, much different from what Gemmy was making before. It was just really good. And Gemmy had been doing this pop and lock thing that they started in 2017 with a Santa. And the Pop and Lock series, I think most of the Gemmy collectors actually like. For the most part, I like it. They made a Pop and Lock squirrel, a Halloween squirrel. It looks kind of like a vampire, too. That's a really good one. And it's got a good song, too. It's modern, but it was made in a good way. A modern song that worked. They also did these hip-hop ones that started around 2018. They made a bunny one with shades and a hat, and it moved its head how those Ice Ice Baby snowmans do, where it goes really fast and it's circling. Hopefully you know what I mean. Not the way Livin' La Vida Loca Frogs does it, but I think you'll be able to tell what I mean. I'll have something that way you can see. And it waved its arm around too. They did quite a few of those, and those were good. I'm pretty sure those started in 2018. And Father's Day stuff had started, and those were all right. Not the best, but they were all right. As for Christmas 2018, there were still some problems there. Okay, this is why it's not too much higher from 2017, which I think is the worst year Gemmy's ever done. But there were maybe a very few things, at least in Christmas 2018, that were good for Gemmy. Had to have been a few. So what would I say about 2018 Christmas for Gemmy? It's probably the worst thing that they had. That was probably the worst time of that year, but the birthday stuff and Halloween was probably the highlight for 2018. But Gemmy 2018 was a little bit better than 2017, and I guess a little bit better than all the other years, really. That's not saying too much, though. And I know there's people that certainly don't like 2018, but I'm sure they like it more than those other years that I've said already. So let's talk about 2019. It's just the same type of items. Gemmy's main series of seasonal items that they do is Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. And then the year-round kind of stuff would be their birthday stuff. The birthday items. Those would be the 5 main things that they make. Not really anything else. There is Father's Day. That's not as big, though. That's more of a sub thing. They're not out for that long at all. But, for 2019 Valentine's Day, that was already pretty good because they had that pig sang that song. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think it was a chef pig. They had that sloth with the saxophone, so they brought that back with what they did with the Reaper, which people liked. So people liked the sloth. And it had a nice little song. No lyrics. It was just a nice saxophone song. And they had the twerking llama. So the twerkers are still here. Yeah, those didn't go away. But it's okay. They had never left. They've been here since 2014. And, 2019 still coming around. Other things for 2019, their birthday stuff, again, really good. Nothing really bad there. I can't think of anything. Halloween 2019, they started the flossing stuff. Yeah, a ghost, and then they made a mummy, and then they made another ghost, and then Santa's for Christmas. Let's not get into that. Yeah, just a spoiler there. But you all know about this. They called him Dance Boss, I think, or Boss Dance. I don't know. One of the two. It doesn't matter. But they made quite a lot of those already, and a lot of people hate them. I think they're decent, to be honest. I would say that they're probably okay, really. Honestly, I would even think that I'm good with them. I mean, I know many people aren't going to agree with that, but I would say that, I don't know. I mean, the songs, there's not really much with them, but it's cool how they were able to make the mechanism, though, when you really think about it. I didn't think they'd be able to pull that off. But for Halloween 2019, it was pretty good. Besides the flossing, because that was just a surprise. And, it's still not as good compared to the other stuff, so I guess it's still a bit of a con there. Christmas 2019, though, this has got to be the big highlight for 2019 here. There were a lot of things I think that were good. I got, those 10 things that I had gotten for 2019 for Christmas? I went to those stores. Like, half of that was Gemmy. I mean, they had that Darling Dancing Reindeer that I liked. There were things I couldn't get because they didn't have them, but I liked those too. Both their Snowflake Spinning Snowman were good. Again, they had Christmas flossing stuff, which I'm alright with. They had a saxophone Santa, which did saxophone noises and stuff like that. Nice, seems kind of like a classic sort of thing. And it's got good, unique movement. So really, Christmas 2019 was all good, except there was still twerking stuff. The twerking stuff is still, there. All the other companies besides Gemmy just doing their same thing every year. It's all sort of the repetitive thing. Then you have Valentine's Day for Gemmy, which this would now be in 2020, where it's even better than Valentine's Day 2019 because, well, I already got an item that they made in 2020 for Valentine's Day, which is what you're seeing right here. This spinning dog, which I really like. Really nice song choice, really nice design. I know it spins, but Gemmy doesn't do that too much, so, Also, that battery compartment. Check out my video I made yesterday. It's the one right before this one. A little bit interesting. I think you know what I mean. And there are other Valentine's Day 2020 stuff you're seeing here. I think it's all good, really. Good song choices, especially. That seems to really just be doing good here. Just these song choices. I think that's the big improvement that Gemmy's done over these last few years. And the Flirty Flashers are still going. You see one right there on the left. Fitness Bear. They've got that. They started the fitness thing in Christmas 2019 with the snowman, which I really like that. And this bear I like too. They are reskinning a few things, but I think that's okay. Because it's different song and it's just really good songs that they're using. Like that dog that they have that sings the Queen song. Has the same mechanism as the dog for Christmas 2019. Which that sang I'll Be Home for Christmas, I think the Elvis Presley song. And the Flirty Flasher that they just released, a little bit weird, but I guess I still like it. It's a Flirty Flasher, so, they never really stopped with the Flirty Flashers. So is Gemmy improving? Yes, I would say so. They are slowly improving, slowly. They are getting better and better. And I think you've seen the things that I've said here that would make sense to me, I would think. Obviously, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just saying. And right here, there's that dog. It's a really nice mechanism that they use for that, too. The twerkers are really the worst thing Gemmy's ever done. They're still making the twerking stuff today because there's that twerking T-Rex. Sings the booty song. Or whatever that song is called. But I've basically said everything. There are a couple little sneak peeks for Easter 2020. You know what? Those seem good too. So, Gemmy's improving.